And I don't believe that he should be able to reap the benefits of basically me bringing her up and taking care of her.
YouTube channel and no one has our consent to upload any videos, record any videos, that would be in violation of the court's rules and contempt of court. All right, Mr. Asif, you may proceed.
Thank you, Your Honor. We're here today to discuss the state's for a default hearing on the state's original petition in the suit affecting the parent-child relationship. We have Ms. Rosalind Lene Lefhandel present. Mr. Christopher Jacob Carr is not. He has been provided with service and notice. We have a service document with a signature showing he was served on January 9th, 2024. And there's a certificate of service ensuring that both parties were informed of this hearing, sent out on March 11th, 2024. The state has entered into evidence and exhibit an acknowledgement paternity form that was signed by Mr. Carr, establishing that he is indeed the father of Isla Maikar. We will also have Ms. Lefhandel testifying to various facts pertaining to the issues of conservatorship and visitation, as well as some other matters. She'll be requesting a sole managing conservatorship with no geographic restriction, as well as for Mr. Carr to have no visitation. The state will be requesting a determination to be made in the best interest of the child. The state is also requesting, and Ms. Lefhandel as well, we're requesting a finding that gross monthly earnings are of Mr. Carr $4,000, and that child support be set to $640 a month. Cash medical support be set to $180 per month, a finding of retroactive child support totaling $2,500 and $2,560 to be paid off at $63 per month, and for these payments to begin on May 1st, 2024. Finally, the state is requesting a finding of court costs against Mr. Carr.
You may call your witness.
Thank you, Your Honor. The state would like to call Ms. Lefhandel. Ms. Lefhandel, could you please state your name?
Rosalind Lefhandel.
And what's the name of your daughter?
Isla May Carr.
And how old is she?
She is about to be 16 months.
And who is the father?
Christopher Jacob Carr.
Is he involved in his daughter's life?
No, sir.
Do the two of you regularly keep in contact?
No, sir.
Okay. Do you know what his current living situation is?
I believe that he is living with a current girlfriend.
Okay. Has he been incarcerated in the past?
Yes, he just got out of jail, I believe, March 30th or March 31st.
Okay. And do you know what was he incarcerated for?
This charge was for violation of probation. And it's because of his second DWI, he got a third one, and that was his violation.
Okay. Is he and you stated he's currently been released, is that correct?
Yes, sir.
And how do you know he got out?
I have various friends that have told me, and I've also seen some spending activity on his part.
Okay. So he didn't inform you?
No.
When we spoke prior, you've expressed that you wanted a sole managing conservatorship. Is this correct?
Yes, sir.
And why is that?
Well, he really doesn't have any part in her life already. And just the actions and decisions that he has made prior to right now, I just don't believe that he is responsible enough or mature enough to really be in her life at the moment. He has not shown any interest either.
Could you please elaborate on these problems and decisions you're referring to?
So he would leave for days without any warning or any communication to go either party with his friends or just be away from the house because he didn't want to be there. And then, of course, like his drinking issues and issues with the law. And I don't believe that he is right to be in her life right now.
So he does have problems with alcohol?
Yes. He also was in rehab for about a month, I believe, in October.
Does he have problems with other recreational drugs?
He has used other recreational drugs in the past, but alcohol is his main drug of choice.
Okay. And at the time, you stated he would disappear for days to go party, as you put it. This was after your daughter's birth. You were living together at the time, is that correct?
Yes, sir.
Um, you've also requested there to be no geographic restriction on you and your daughter, is that correct?
Yes, sir.
And why is that?
Well, we currently live in Kyle, and normally he was staying with his mom in Point Venture, but I don't believe he's staying there at the moment. And he hasn't really expressed any concern with us being so far or
Mhm.
really where we live. He doesn't even really care. So
Has he contacted you since his release?
no.
Okay. You're also requesting that he have no visitation rights, is that correct?
Yes, sir.
And why is that?
I don't trust him to be left alone with her. I don't even think that he would really take advantage of those visitation rights. And I don't believe that he should be able to reap the benefits of basically me bringing her up and taking care of her.
Okay. You stated we discussed a visitation schedule prior. Does that ring a bell?
Yes.
Okay. So are you comfortable with the 5 supervised visits to start with that we discussed?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And are you comfortable with these visits occurring on the first, third, and fifth Friday of every month
Yes, sir.
from 6 to 9 p.m.?
Yes, sir.
That they will occur at the residence of the mother of Mr. Carr,
Yes, sir.
and that his mother would pick up your daughter, would be responsible for picking up your daughter from your residence and returning her to your residence at the beginning and at the end of these periods of visitation.
Yes, sir.
It's also my understanding upon the completion of the initial 5 supervised visits, you'd be comfortable with overnight visits. Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
And these would happen on the first, third, and fifth Friday of every month at Mr. Carr's mother's residence.
Yes, sir.
They would begin Friday at 6 p.m. and end the following Sunday at 6 p.m. Are you comfortable with that?
Yes, sir.
And are you comfortable with, for these overnight visits, you would be the one to drop your daughter off at Mr. Carr's mother's residence and pick her up once a period of visitation ends?
Yes.
Okay. You've also requested that in the visitation order, he'd be any orders pertaining to visitation, Mr. Carr refrain from the consumption of alcohol or any illegal drugs during these periods of visitation and at least 24 hours prior. Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
You've also stated that you don't want your daughter meeting his current romantic partner. Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Are you comfortable with the standard possession order as they pertain to summers, spring break, and holidays?
Yeah.
So long. I'm sorry, ma'am, not quite finished.
Okay.
You've expressed that you're comfortable so long as these periods of possession occur at Mr. Carr's mother's residence. Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
Okay, thank you. Does Mr. Carr have any other children?
No.
Does your daughter have any special needs?
No.
Do you know what Mr. Carr does for work?
He is in sales at a cellular company.
Okay. How much does he make?
I would say around $4,000 a month.
And how do you know this?
Just based off of our old expenses like rent and the car and just how much money we would have during the month. And he would kind of express to me about how much he would get paid as well.
Mhm. Did you have a joint account?
We didn't have a joint account, but I had access to his account and was able to use the funds in it.
Were
So,
you
yeah.
able to, were you able to see deposits? Were you able to see his income? Oh, yes, Your Honor.
Occasionally.
Let's see. Who pays for your daughter's medical needs?
Whenever there is any, me, but she also has Medicaid as well. So Medicaid covers mostly everything.
Okay. Does Medicaid cover her dental needs?
Yes.
You've stated that sometimes it's you. You've had to pay for your daughter. Have you had to pay any medical expenses for your daughter out of pocket?
Just maybe like for a prescription or two.
Okay. When was your daughter born?
December 17th, 2022.
Did you live with Mr. Carr at the time?
I did about until November.
Do you still live together? Oh, you've already answered that. Since you moved out, has he provided any sort of financial or non-financial support?
No, sir.
Has he been incarcerated since you moved out?
Yes, for the month of March.
Just the month of March. And when he was released, did he get his old job? Allow me to rephrase. The job he had prior to incarceration, did he get it back upon his release?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So are you seeking retroactive support from December 23 to April 2024, excluding the month of March 2024 where he was incarcerated?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Thank you. Your Honor, the state has no further questions at this time. We'll pass the witness.
Ms. Leftenbull, sounds like you are requesting that there be a person not be around the child during the time that Mr. Carr has his visitation. Do you know the name of that person?
I'm not 100% sure of her name. No, I've just heard of her name through some mutual friends that we have.
Okay.
Don't know her exact identity, no.
In order for me to feel like I can order him to not allow a specific person from being around your child, it's important to know the specific name. Mr. Carr may have other romantic relationships, and it would be a little confusing in the future if the orders say he is not to have his current girlfriend around the child when it's not that specific person that you have an issue with. You understand what I'm saying? Okay. It sounds like you said yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Couldn't hear you. All right. So, and do you know a first name?
I believe it is Carissa, Caryssa. And then my friend sent me her last name, but I'm not 100% sure if that is her last name.
Okay, Caryssa.
Yes, ma'am.
Now, is this the person that was involved in the DWI incident that you testified about?
No, it is not. I believe that this is a new girlfriend, but I haven't talked to him at all, so I'm just not comfortable with anyone that I don't know to be
Ah,
around her.
all right, so this current girlfriend, she has not had any contact with you. You just don't know her?
I just don't know her, yeah.
Okay, never mind. Sorry. All right, Mr. Receive, did you have any other questions, sir?
Yes, Your Honor. Just to clarify, Miss Lefhemble, that 4,000 figure you stated before for his income, is that monthly?
Yes, that is monthly.
Thank you. That'll be all, Your Honor.
Okay. All right, default judgment is granted against Mr. Carr. These will be final orders. Finding that the parentage of the child was determined by an acknowledgement of paternity that was attached to the pleadings. As to the issue of conservatorship, based on testimony provided by Ms. Leftenbull, the presumption of joint managing conservatorship has been rebutted. So Ms. Leftenbull is appointed as the sole managing conservator Mr. Mr. Carr is appointed as a possessory conservator. Possession of the child, let me go back to the primary residence. That will be with Ms. Leftenbull without a geographic restriction. Okay. Until further orders, there will be two-step schedule. So the first phase will be supervised access for Mr. Carr on the first, third, and fifth Friday, beginning at 6 p.m., ending at 9 p.m. The residence will occur at, the possession will occur at the residence of the paternal grandmother. I did not get a name, so Ms. Leftenbull, you'll need to provide that to Mr. Asif so that he can place that in the order.
Okay.
This paternal grandmother will pick up the child at the beginning of the possession, return the child to Ms. Leftenbull at the end of the possession period, and that will be for 5 supervised visits. It'll move into step 2, and it'll be the overnight possession until further orders. On the first, third, and fifth Friday, beginning at 6 p.m., ending the following Sunday at 6 p.m., Ms. Leftenbull will exchange the child at the residence of the paternal grandmother. All visits will occur at the paternal grandmother's residence. Holiday possession, as requested by Ms. Leftenbull, is granted. And again, the holiday possession to occur at the residence of the paternal grandmother. Mr. Carr is enjoined from consuming alcohol or illegal drugs 24 hours prior to his visit, and he is prohibited from consuming these substances during his periods of possession. As to child support, finding based on testimony provided by Ms. Leftenbull, child support will be based on monthly gross of $4,000. Ms. Leftenbull is ordered to continue with government coverage. Mr. Carr is ordered to pay cash medical support of $180 and current child support of $640. Current obligations will begin May 1st. I calculated 4 months of retroactive support. What I heard testimony was the period of retroactive requested by Ms. Leftenbull and the state was December of 2023 through April of 2024. That's 5
Yes.
months, and then subtracting the month of March. So that's how I came up with 4 months. I used the guideline percentage without the medical deduction of $676. I multiplied that by 4 months. And judgment for retroactive support is $2,704 as of today. Mr. Carr is ordered to pay $63 monthly towards the judgment until it's paid in full. And that payment will begin May 1st.